G'day folks, and welcome to episode 3 of Gourmet Shed. This time we're going to try something a little different. What we're going to do is go behind the scenes of GormoVison and see how some of the magic is made. Really, it's all about editing on Windows Movie Maker. So let's have a look at that right now. Well, just before we get into the editing side of things, one of the things that is really handy for filming, especially model trains, is a tripod. This is quite an old tripod. It's a Solid X from years ago, and it's got a fluid head, so panning is quite smooth. Although I try and avoid panning shots on my model trains because with the new digital cameras, each individual frame is a digital picture within its own right, and unless you've got the settings on full high definition or whatever, you do get a slightly staggered effect when panning. So I try and avoid panning shots if I can. You've probably noticed that my shots in the opening sequence of these Gourmet Shed episodes they're shot from quite a high angle, and that's all due to this tripod, because you can wind it up to quite a good height and angle the camera downwards. It's actually gone out of the shot now, and you can angle the camera downwards and get a different view of things. So that's how that is done. But basically what you need to do really is get down close to the action, in my opinion, and that's why you'll see a lot of my shots are filmed down at track level. If we look at shots from above, it looks like, well, I guess as one famous Welshman said recently, it looks like model trains running around on a bit of wood. So that's why I try and get down nice and low with my shots. So it doesn't matter what camera you have for your filming, but the thing is to understand how your camera works and what you can do with it. Especially when you're filming model trains, you need something with macro capability so you can get those close-up shots. But I mean, I leave the camera up to you. All I say to you is understand how to use the functions on it, and that will stand you in good stead. So now let's move on to the editing side of things. Okay folks, so I've opened Windows Live Movie Maker in a slightly compressed mode so that it looks better for the filming that we're about to do here. So things on the taskbar up here are slightly compressed, but everything's still there, so we can still use them. Now what we should do with this, I suppose, is work on a beginning, a middle and an end. So as a beginning, we will first do a title. So we click up here on the add title, and you can see it comes up with the default of my movie, and we'll call this one, what will we call it? Test run. Now that text in the middle of the screen there can be moved up and down or around wherever you want to place it. We'll just leave it there for the moment. The text can also be adjusted. You can make it bold, you can change the font. I usually use Sergo print, so it gets that odd sort of random look to it. You can change the text size by adjusting this little button here. You can reduce it again by doing that. We'll just knock it up a tad. You can change the text color. You have a range of colors there. We'll go with platform 1 colors. We'll use white for the text, and we'll change the background color over here where it says background color to blue, like we have in platform 1. Now if we click on the play button, that will show there, and you see how the text is actually zooming in. That's because up here it's on this effect here. If we change it to that one or that one, you get different effects, whatever you want. You can have different effects altogether. There's a special one there with the starburst, and there are more options available as you work through the menu here, all sorts of things, but I generally prefer to have this one here, so we'll stay with that one. So there we are, there's our title done. Now if we go back to our home screen, this is where we can add videos. We have to make sure that the cursor is at the end of the title there. Now we click on add videos, and we'll just pick one out of my selections here. We'll just pick that one for example and click open, and that will add that to Windows Movie Maker. Now if we play that particular clip, we'll see that the train appears a second or so after the clip actually starts, and then the train will disappear and the clip's still going. So ideally we would like to trim that. So what we do is we'll click on edit up here, and you'll see we have an option here of a trim tool. So if we click on trim tool, and we finish up with this little bar under the larger screen here, that's part of the trim tool. So what we do is start playing, and I can just see the train appearing, so I would like it to begin about there, and I go up here and set the start point, and then we'll play it from there and see how it goes. Now that's near the end, so to get the carriage right at the end of the picture, I just click on this next frame selection here, and it's moved it just out of frame, and I'll set that as the end point. Now when I play the clip, it's exactly how I want it, I would hope. That's it. Then I go up here to save trim, and it's done. Right, we'll add another clip now, so we'll go back to the home screen, add videos. You can also add photos too if you like. So I'll find another one here. Let me see. That'll do. We'll go for that one. Open that. Now, you can play this one, and you can see that the train comes into view about a second after the clip starts playing. So again, we will use the trim tool. Open that up and take the clip back a bit. Now, right, we'll stop there. Now we will just take the train back a frame at a time until we get it right near the edge of the picture there. That's about right, so we'll use that as the start point. Now we'll play the clip. We'll stop it about there. Whoops, too far. Bring it back. Repeated clicking brings it back. Now, frame by frame, get it right to the end, that's it. Okay, and we'll set that as the end point. We'll just play it to make sure it all works properly, or as we would like it to work. Okay, that's good. Now we'll save that one as well. Now, right, what we'll do now is add credits at the end, and here we have add credits, and you've got a menu here, credits, director, starring, location, all that sort of thing. I usually just use credits and adapt it to whatever I want, and as you can see the text is there again as default, and we will just put in here the end, and we might make that a bit bigger actually, increase the size a bit, make it bold, and we will use the same font that we used before, which is Sergo Print or Sergo Print, whatever you want to call it.
we will follow the same format that we had before in the colours. So this should play as the end. Now you see it's scrolling upwards. If we don't want it to do that, we can change it via the menu up here to whatever we like. So we might even go with, no, we'll leave it at scrolling upwards. I think that'll do. Okay, so that's fine. Now as you go through this process, it's always wise to, especially if it's a big project, to save your project as you go, because if anything crashes or whatever, you stand to lose a lot of work. So at least if you save it as you go and it crashes, you can get back to where you were roughly. So we'll save this as a movie maker project and we will call it test run. We'll just save that like that. So now if I make any mistakes from now on, I can always come back to this point and fix up what I have to do. Now while we're here, you can add further effects to this video to make it more interesting. We have visual effects here. There is a number of things. There's a fuzzy effect there. There's like a cartoonish whiteout thing. All sorts of colours here. It's called posterize. All sorts of effects. Probably the most useful one is black and white. If we scroll down, there's some more. There's some here which are useful. This is fade out to black, so the end of the clip fades out to black. They're okay, mostly gimmicks, most of them. And this one, you know, it's a bit of fun, so it rotates the thing, you know. So what probably the most effective really are the animations, which are actually transitions between scenes. I usually like to use the crossfade, which is this one here. So it sort of it blends the scenes together in a better way than just a straight jump from scene to scene. So I'll add a crossfade here at this point. You can see it's put a little bar on the clip there. I also have the option up here to apply it to all the clips, so I will do that. So that then applies it to all of them. So if we now go back to the start and play, you will see that the title comes up, and then we'll crossfade into the live action, and then that scene will crossfade to the next, just like that. And then when we get to the end of that, it will crossfade again into the end title. Another thing we can do is if we go back to the home screen, you will see that there is an option there to add music. So you can add music at the current point, and at the moment the cursor is there, so we don't want to add it there, so we'll go right back to the beginning, just here, and we'll click add music again, and we'll click add music at the current point. Now because I do this a fair bit, it's gone to my one of my music sections. I'll have to actually find the one I actually use for these videos, which is along here somewhere when we find it, and here it is. Right, now I use royalty free music from Ben Sound, the site on the internet. So we'll just add something in here. Let's say that one. That'll do for the moment. Now you can see it puts a bar above the video, and if we play that now, let's make sure the sound is loud enough. That should be alright. If we play that now, we will have music there. So if we stop that there, and if we click on the music soundtrack there, where it says Brazil Samba, Ben Sound, we can also go up and edit the music itself. We can click on Music Tools. I like to fade it in, so we will have a slow fade in, and I like to fade it out. So we'll have a slow fade out. You can have fast or medium as well. The music volume is normally set at full. However, if you think you'd rather hear more of the music than the actual video clip, you can do that as well by going back to Video Tools, and you click on Video here and Video Tools, and it's the same options where you can fade in and fade out, but you can also adjust the volume. You can adjust the volume of the clip, and in this case we'll just take it right down, and we don't want any sound coming from the video clip. So now when we go back and play the clip, we should hear only music and nothing, no trains. So we'll just do it from this point. Forgot to mention, I've only affected the one clip there, so I'll have to do the same with this clip. Video volume, and take that down as well. Right, we'll try that again. Here we go. Actually, we'll do it from the start. Here we go. Now, here we go again. Oops, started again. Right, back to the home page. Now you've got a number of options here, and really it's best just to play around with the thing and see what you can do. You can add music at any stage you want. You can actually edit the music anytime you want to. You can make the actual clip of the music shorter than it actually is by just telling it what point you want it to start and what time you want it to end. So if we do that, if we go back to the start here, and we've clicked on Music Tools, we've got Brazil Samba there, it says start time 0, which is the start of the clip. So if I wanted the music track to end, say here, I bring the cursor to here and look down here at my screen, I can see the time in seconds, 5.5 seconds. Okay, so what we'll do is go up to the end point and put 5.00 seconds. We'll make it 5 seconds, and then right, you can see that it's shortened it here. And if we make sure that we've still got our same settings, we've got fade in, fade out, slow, slow. So it's not going to be much music if we play that. Gone. So there you go. If I don't like what I've done in any process through this whole video, I can go up here to the undo button, just click undo, and you can see it's restored the music track to its original length. So, you know, it's a fairly easy, user-friendly system. There's all sorts of things you can do. I mean, Spielberg's not going to get worried about the stuff that I'm doing on here, but it's a very, very handy tool, and it comes with Windows. If you want to see what your clip's going to look like full screen, you have a little preview arrow here. If you hit that, it'll come up full screen. We're not getting the full screen on the computer here at the moment, but you can see that's how it plays. If I hit the escape button on the laptop here, it will bring me back to the Movie Maker screen. I'll just do that. So we're back to the Movie Maker screen, just like that. You can also add photographs in here if you want to do something like a slideshow. I'll just find some of my photographs here. Where are we now? We'll just pick something random, nothing fantastic. and you can see the cursor on the right here is where it will be inserted. So let's find something like, let's say, oh, I don't know, how about that one? We'll open that one, and it's actually put it somewhere else. Doesn't matter, I'll just drag it up there. That's where I wanted it. Okay, that's the thing with this thing as well. I should have mentioned that you can drag these things around. You can put that there if you want to. You can move it that way if you want to, and it's back in place. The photograph there won't have any transitions on it because it's been added late. So you can add the crossfade to that one as well. Just add that there, and you will notice that the soundtrack has extended itself to cope with the additional photo or video that goes in there. So now if we go back to just about here, we'll say about there, that should play okay. So what it's all about is just trying this with anything and mucking about with it and understanding how it all works. Now if we want to get a little bit fancy, as in the Platform 1 logo that comes up at the end of my clips, we can add that in. I got a file off Paul the other day, which is quite helpful for that. I've just got to find it now. Where are we? Let me see. Here we are. Right, I have it here. Now you can see that's added in, and you've probably noticed on the videos that have gone in episode 1 and episode 2, there's been variations of this, but this is a really a good piece to have in the video, and I put the web address in underneath. I get it zooming in. So what I'll do is I'll copy the web address. So we'll just go to the web for a second, and there it is. Excuse me. Copy that. Get rid of the browser. Now the way to add the web address to this is to do it as a caption, and that's up the top here. It says there's a little option there that says add caption, and then you'll see the little text bar comes underneath the logo there. So we just remove enter text here, and then we just paste the web address. Now I usually like to try and make it as big as I can, so we'll make it bold for a start, and I'll just increase the size ever so slightly. Another one, it's a bit too big. If you drag the box size, you start to get all the information back in one line again, and then just bring it down to about there. Now I like to add the zoom in effect there as well, so we'll try that one. Yep, that looks alright, so we'll click on zoom. So now when we get to the end of our video, that should come up as well. Now maybe we should make it a little bit fancier, so what we'll go and do is add a starburst into it. How's that? No, not really. Let's see, maybe this one. That's better. There's a starburst there. We'll add that on as well. So we'll try that. So there you go, folks. How's that? Pretty fancy, eh? Okay, well, now to add on to the end of this, I'll just put in a couple of photographs in the course of this video, showing how the camera is set up on the track with the train coming along, and there'll be an accompanying video for each still picture, There's a still picture of the camera car as well, just showing the sort of position it would be in to film some of these things. So this is not a comprehensive thing about Windows Movie Maker, but it's just to show you that there are possibilities with this sort of thing, and the more you play with it, the more you learn. So what we'll do is we'll add in those final photos and clips now, and we'll see how that goes. Well folks, I hope you enjoyed that. It's amazing what you can do with a little bit of editing, as you can see. Chopping things up and dissecting them and moving them around, well, that's all part of the magic, I suppose. Now, episode 4, again, haven't got a clue what's coming up in episode 4, so you'll just have to wait for that one as well. That's the way it goes, I'm afraid. So, we'll leave you with it. And remember, as I always say, the hardest thing to do on your model railway is lay that first piece of track. Okay. Cheers. Gormo.